I can turn my music off. Make her turn her music off. I can turn my music off. Make her.
As soon as I come through, I let that chopper off. Pow! Pow! That's not a chopper sound. I'm sorry. As soon as I come through, I kill everybody.
We killing one person.
No, we kill everybody. When I'm in the club, I make it rain.
I'm gonna pick that.
No, we not.
This is Marquita Narrows, a 28-year-old loving mother, entrepreneur, and wife from Texas, whose life was violently cut short in the most unimaginable way. Marquita had big dreams, a loving family, and a thriving business that she built from the ground up. Yet just moments after filing for divorce, she would be killed in cold blood. On the morning of June 30th, 2022, police would receive a frantic 911 call from neighbors claiming that an 8-year-old boy had just seen his father shoot his mother to death in an apartment on Oates Drive, Mesquite, Texas. As soon as the police arrived at the apartment complex, they were met with the horrifying scene of Marquita's lifeless body slumped on the floor. She had been shot 8 times with 16 gunshot wounds. What was more terrifying was it had happened in the presence of her own 8-year-old child. He had just witnessed his own father murder his mother. But before we get to that bone-chilling moment that changed everything, let me take you back to where this seemingly perfect love story began. Because the most dangerous relationships are the ones that look absolutely flawless from the outside. Marquita Shania McCleary Narrows was born on December 13, 1991 in Dallas, Texas, into a supportive, tight-knit family where love, care, and family values were held in the highest regard. Growing up in such an environment, Marquita quickly learned the importance of strong relationships and the power of kindness. Even as a young girl, she demonstrated an unwavering passion for helping others, and it was clear that she had a natural gift for making connections with people. Her social nature made her the heart of any gathering, and her charisma was contagious, drawing people in with her vibrant personality. Sadly, this same charisma that would eventually lead her to someone who would change her life in ways she never thought possible. Marquita's love for her family was boundless, and it was no surprise that as she grew older, her children became the center of her world. As a devoted mother to 3 young kids, she poured her heart and soul into creating a loving, supportive home for them.
1, 2. Hold on, what's the song off of, what's the thing? See, if you get high, you got to get out the gate. Oh, please. If you get high, you got to get out the gate. Oh, get out the gate. The water blue.
Marquita made sure to attend every sporting event, school activity, and family function, showing up as their loudest cheerleader and biggest fan. Her children were the driving force behind everything she did, and she was fiercely committed to providing them with the best opportunities and experiences. Beyond her devotion to her family, Marquita was also a dynamic, hard-working woman. She had a strong entrepreneurial spirit. With an innate drive and a clear vision, she founded Everything That Glitters, a business that distributed high-quality beauty products, specializing in hair and eyelashes. It wasn't just about the products from Marquita, it was about creating something that would empower women to embrace their beauty and confidence. Through her business, Marquita not only achieved professional success, but also inspired countless others to take control of their own narratives, embrace their individuality, and feel beautiful both inside and out. Marquita's success story was one of determination, resilience, and an unshakable belief in herself. Her company grew steadily, fueled by her hard work, dedication, and relentless pursuit of excellence. She was deeply invested in helping other women feel empowered, and her work was a reflection of her own passion for self-care and beauty.
I'm her and she's me.
Her commitment to helping women shine through their beauty was not just about providing products. It was about fostering a community that lifted each other up and celebrated confidence and self-esteem. Tragically, the very community Marquita worked so hard to build, a community that celebrated empowerment and confidence, would be the same one mourning her. Despite Marquita's success and love for her family, her personal life was far from perfect. Behind closed doors, Marquita's marriage to her husband and the father of her children, Ashton Narrows, was hitting the rocks gradually. Ashton Narrows was a well-known figure on social media, often sharing uplifting messages, religious scriptures, and glimpses into his family life. They had been married for 5 years and shared 3 children together. Ashton ran a YouTube channel called Best Dad, where he presented himself as a devoted father, regularly posting about his happy family on Facebook under the name of Jefe Narrows. To those who followed him online, Ashton and his partner Marquita seemed to have a flawless family dynamic. However, the reality behind closed doors was far from the picture-perfect image he portrayed. The strain between them had been growing for some time, and things had reached a breaking point. Ashton had been unfaithful, and Marquita, devastated by his affair, decided that it was time to end the marriage. She filed for divorce, signaling that she could no longer live in the toxic environment that Ashton had created. It was a painful decision, but one that she felt was necessary for the sake of her happiness and well-being. Unfortunately, Ashton would not take kindly to the breakup. Reports from friends and family revealed that Ashton had become controlling and manipulative in their relationship, and Marquita had even gone so far as to hide his firearm from him at one point after he had threatened her during a heated argument. She had feared what he was capable of doing. But little did she know this was only the beginning of something more sinister to happen. Despite these growing issues, Ashton continued to portray himself online as the loving husband and father. He shared uplifting messages, religious scripture, and snapshots of his happy family on social media platforms like Facebook and YouTube. But this online persona sharply contrasted with the reality of their deteriorating marriage. Days before the murder, Ashton posted unsettling messages on social media that hinted at inner turmoil. One post mentioned rebuilding from scratch, and just before Marquita's death, he shared a message about never getting closure. These posts were cryptic and seemed to signal an ominous premonition, suggesting that Ashton's mental state was becoming more unstable as the situation with Marquita escalated. On the night of October 18, 2020, their relationship took a deadly turn. Marquita and Ashton were in their apartment when a violent argument erupted between them. Marquita's 8-year-old son was in another room, unaware of the growing tension. But then he would suddenly hear his mother scream his nickname in desperation. Moments later, the unmistakable sound of gunshots rang out. In a panic, the boy ran outside, looking for help. He found 2 neighbors in the parking lot and, through his tears, told them, "I think my dad shot my mom." The neighbors immediately called 911. They later described the boy as being in shock, hysterical, and deeply traumatized by the sight and sounds of the violence. Meanwhile, Ashton calmly walked out of the apartment, his demeanor eerily calm and indifferent to what had just transpired. The neighbors testified that he seemed angry but not threatening. But Ashton didn't stay at the scene. Instead of helping his wounded wife, he took his son, put him in the car, and drove off, saying little and dropping the boy off at Marquita's parents' house. Ashton's actions in the hours following the murder only grew more chilling. He left his son standing barefoot and shirtless at the front door, then posted a chilling message on his Facebook account. This was the final confirmation for Marquita's family that something truly horrific had just occurred. As soon as the police arrived at the apartment complex on Oates Drive, they were met with the horrifying scene of Marquita's lifeless body slumped on the floor. Investigators quickly determined that she was struck by 8 gunshots, resulting in a total of 16 gunshot wounds, including both entry and exit wounds. The shots were concentrated in her upper torso, abdomen, and arms. There were no signs that she had attempted to fight back, and no weapon was found in her possession. The physical evidence told a clear and chilling story. Marquita had been murdered in cold blood. That same day, Ashton made his way to the Dallas County Jail and calmly approached Deputy Jeffrey Tim, confessing, "I killed my wife. I murdered my wife." There was no hesitation in his words, no signs of emotional turmoil, just a simple admission of guilt. This shocking statement was followed by his immediate detention, but investigators continued to dig deeper into the evidence to understand what had driven Ashton to such an extreme act. Police searched Ashton's car where they found 8 shell casings, but no firearm. Ashton had disposed of the murder weapon. He had shared with detectives that he couldn't remember where he had disposed off the murder weapon. But evidence from the scene and his own admission pointed directly to him. But little did investigators know, the story was far from over. According to legal filings, both Marquita and Ashton had already signed divorce papers. Marquita's father discovered those documents inside her apartment, along with a receipt for a Smith & Wesson firearm, the same model investigators determined was used in her killing. Further evidence from the court proceedings revealed that on August 25, 2020, Ashton Narrows had purchased a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson handgun just 2 months before the murder. The forensic evidence, including the caliber of bullets and the trajectory of the gunshots, confirmed that Ashton had fired at Marquita multiple times in what appeared to be a deliberate act. Ashton was arrested and initially charged with murder. His bond was set to $100,000, but was later increased to $250,000. Marquita's family, especially her parents, were left devastated by her senseless death. Her father, Mark, who had received a chilling notification from Facebook about Ashton's cryptic message, rushed to the scene in disbelief. Marquita's sister, Jessica, who had been home at the time of the murder, was left with an overwhelming sense of loss. She received a notification from the family's Ring doorbell camera and had seen her little nephew standing outside, visibly distraught. He had just witnessed something no child should ever see. Jessica recalled how the young boy was so overwhelmed by what had happened that he didn't say much. He simply walked inside, exhausted from the horror of the night. The community of Marquita was equally shaken by the murder. Marquita was known for her entrepreneurial spirit, her love for her children, and her tireless work ethic. To many, she was an example of a strong, independent woman who would not let anything stand in her way. Her tragic death left many people questioning how a once promising relationship had devolved into such violence. Ashton's actions were especially shocking given the public image he had created for himself. He had portrayed himself as a loving father and husband, sharing videos of his family on social media. However, his actions behind closed doors were a stark contrast to the happy image he had projected. The community, already concerned about domestic violence, now had to grapple with the realization that a man they had once trusted had been capable of such an atrocious act. However, the most shocking revelation was yet to come. When the case reached trial, Ashton entered a plea of not guilty, insisting that Marquita's death was not intentional. He chose to testify on his own behalf, recounting the night in disjointed and confusing statements. He claimed that after Marquita switched off the bedroom light, he reached for his bag to retrieve divorce papers. According to him, she moved towards the wall as if to flee, and in that moment, he drew his weapon and fired. Ashton maintained that he wasn't aiming at her, describing the ordeal as a nightmare. Forensic evidence told a different story. Despite his claim of shooting at the wall, investigators found no bullet marks there. Instead, Marquita had been struck multiple times. The defense attempted to argue diminished mental capacity, but prosecutors dismantled that narrative, pointing to deliberate actions. Ashton had purchased a new firearm weeks earlier after Marquita hid his first gun out of fear, posted troubling messages on social media, fled the scene with his son, and tried to dispose of the murder weapon. These were not the behaviors of a man firing blindly, they were the choices of someone intent on killing. The jury was instructed to consider either murder or manslaughter. After reviewing the evidence, they returned a verdict of guilty on the murder charge. Ashton Narrows was sentenced to 50 years in prison and fined $10,000. The judge added a deadly weapon enhancement, underscoring the gravity of the crime. Ashton later appealed, arguing that prosecutors had failed to prove he possessed the mental state required for murder. The appeal was denied, the evidence was overwhelming, and the jury's decision stood. While justice was delivered in court, the devastation outside it was immense. Marquita's 3 children lost their mother in the most violent way imaginable, and their father would spend decades behind bars. Her parents were suddenly left to bear the responsibility of raising their grandchildren. The community rallied to support them, launching a GoFundMe campaign that quickly surpassed its initial $10,000 goal. On October 24, 2020, family and friends gathered at Eternal Rest Funeral Home in Dallas, Texas, to say their final goodbyes to Marquita, a farewell marked by grief, resilience, and the enduring love of those she left behind. It was a heart-wrenching occasion. They were not only mourning the loss of a beloved mother, daughter, and sister, but also trying to process the senseless violence that led to her death. Her children, who were left to face the world without their mother, were at the center of the service. The pain and devastation they felt was unimaginable, but the community rallied behind them, offering support, love, and strength. Marquita's life, though tragically cut short, would not be forgotten. In the wake of Marquita's death, her story sparked an important conversation about domestic violence, control, and the hidden realities of seemingly perfect relationships. Ashton's violent outburst was not just the result of a momentary lapse in judgment, but was the culmination of years of manipulation, controlling behavior, and emotional abuse. Marquita's decision to leave him, fueled by his infidelity, was the catalyst for the tragic events that unfolded that night. Marquita's story serves as a painful reminder of the importance of recognizing the signs of domestic violence and the need for support systems for those in abusive relationships. Her legacy lives on through her children, her family, and the community she left behind.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mommy. Happy birthday to you.
Y'all got the most latest birthday ever. I ain't gone no cruise for my birthday when I was 5 or when I was 8. Period.
Walmart coconut oil organic one actually smell like coconut.
Give her a kiss, Bubba. Give her a kiss. Kiss Bubba. Kiss her, Bubba. Y'all silly. Kiss her, Bubba. Bubba, give her some kisses, Bubba. Sissy.
May her story inspire others to seek help before it's too late, and may her family find the peace they so deserve. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.